I am Savvy Cray, founder of the Underground Collective, founder of Black Box Tulsa, artist, human.
And you know me, Natasha Ferdinand, she, they.
He, him.
Ally, ally. I just saw you got back from California recently.
Yeah, I actually got my merch on from the event. We just had Roses LA, rooftop fashion show in downtown LA. So that was fun.
Nice. We're gonna cut that. It's not getting paid.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
For sure. But yeah, that's kind of my main thing is curating and planning events. I do a lot here in Tulsa, so
You do a lot. I was gonna make a list of things to like plug, and then I was like, oh, he does everything.
live music, art shows, fashion shows.
The ats in your bio, you're just like also here. Oh, I'm also here. I'm also here. It's really inspiring, honestly, as another Tulsa artist. Like watching you just like create, promote, like always doing something, always going.
Thank you.
What like brought you to that space?
You know, I was an artist first. You know, yourself being an artist and a comedian, you've probably come across times where it's how can I get on a show? You know, and that was the original spark. Give us a platform so we don't have to wait on other people. You know, and that's kind of the whole spark behind it, and it just grew into anything event related.
Did anybody help you or mentor you in that, or was there anybody you looked towards and you were like, or were you like, this is all self-motivated?
I first was inspired by my big cousin. His artist name is Savvy Student. That's where the Savvy comes from, the Savvy Cray. Inspired me to get into the studio and start making music. So we used to just freestyle and just rhyme for fun, you know. I moved to California with him 2017. Being out there kind of showed me that there's a lot of people working behind the scenes in the music industry, and a lot of the moves that are made, like they're by people you don't see, and you know, the people putting together the events and putting together the plays, they're making just as much money as the people you see on stage sometimes. So you know, that kind of
sometimes even more.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's something I really learned when I was reading all the books. I was reading books that Stephen Martin did about his life. I was like, what do these guys got that I don't? And then I realized they didn't have anything I didn't have. They just had a team. They had people who were like pushing them or doing, because it's just one guy on stage, but then there's hundreds of people behind the stage putting it all into place beforehand.
Exactly. And like you said, they're human just like you.
We always want to put people on a pedestal. We're always like, oh, they're like the next level. They're doing something different than us. It's like, no, they're humans and they work together.
We can do that too. I moved back to Tulsa in 2018, and that's when I started the Underground Collective. You know, with the help of Shanta Lewis, that was one of my first business partners. Had the help of Steph Simon. He helped connect me with a lot of venues around town.
He was somebody I knew before I even got into like the Tulsa artist scene. He's like,
shout out to Steph.
Yeah, shout out. He's like a gateway drug. He's like, you find him, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's more Tulsa artists coming in.
Yeah, no, he literally is the gateway. Like, he showed me a whole other side of Tulsa, like you said. Like, I didn't know all this cool shit was going on. And really, a lot of the cool shit we have now, there wasn't as much back in 2018. And, like, we helped to build that over the past 5-6 years, you know? And
I feel like Oklahoma is one of the few places that really thrived during the COVID crisis. Like, everything got a lot more community-based. People were like, you got to do this. So
yeah, and it's crazy, like, after COVID, whenever we finally got the green light to do events again, like, our events were, like, way better than before. People were itching to get out and have community again.
Tulsans do love to party. That is a tried and true thing.
Like I said, I just got back from LA, working on expanding the events outside of Tulsa. While doing that, I can open the door for myself as an artist. And as a DJ, I've been really falling in love with the art of DJing lately.
Do you know the first album you ever bought?
Like, before I was old enough to, like, buy shit, you know?
Yeah.
I had a Snoop Dogg cassette tape, and I had a Busta Rhymes CD. I don't know where I got them from, but I just remember as a little kid listening to Snoop Dogg and Busta Rhymes. But when I got old enough to buy my first CD I purchased with my money was Outkast, Andre 3000, and Big Boy. Like, Outkast was one of my biggest influences. Andre 3000 still one of my favorite rappers, even though he doesn't rap anymore.
He does the flute thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually just went on a tour, like, doing experimental music. One of my cousins, Kalani, got to perform with him on tour, like, doing experimental music.
That's really cool.
Hell yeah.
Andre is one of those guys who's, I won't call him Andre, that sounds way too informal. Mr. Andre 3000, he's one of those artists that's just like almost like a modern day Renaissance person that I actually admire. Because some people will do everything, and you're like, you shouldn't do everything.
Yeah.
Andre, like, he acts sometimes, and you're like, oh shit, he's an actor.
Like on Cartoon Network. A lot
He's
of
on
people
Cartoon
don't know
Network?
that. He had a cartoon.
Oh,
It's
that's
called
right.
Class of 3000.
Yeah.
3000 sing.
Nice.
Yeah, it was so
that
good.
Was really good. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, it still has kid-friendly songs on there. Like,
I bet he like had a hand in all of. But you're DJing right now.
Yeah, doing more DJing than rapping lately. Being able to play for any audience, you know. I feel like my music that I make is for kind of a narrow audience, you know. Not everybody likes hip hop, and not everybody likes. I curse in my music. I talk about weed, you know what I mean? So that narrows my audience a little bit to who I can rap to, you know.
I live in such a bubble that just sounds like all of music to me. I'm like,
yeah, I feel like, but you know, you would be the demographic that would come to one of my shows.
I love all your shows
that
you put on. So yeah.
But you know, with DJing, like that broadens who I can play for. You know, like I got to DJ at my grandma's 90th birthday. I'm playing like her old school music that she likes, like Marvin Gaye and shit. You know, but if I was to rap, my family would look at me like what the fuck? I love just being able to play for different crowds and just getting people dancing and moving.
You just want to perform for people. Really. You want a stage kind of like to get out there.
I love to share the vibe of music and dance. Like I don't want to just get up and play. Like I want to see people nodding their head, moving their feet. Like I want it to be an experience. That's what really makes me fall in love with DJing.
Was there a first moment on stage where you're like, I can do this?
Yeah, it was actually 2 years ago. Before I learned how to officially DJ, I had a house party and my DJ's computer like shut down or something. So I had to play music off of my phone for like an hour. And like I got the party just as lit when the DJ was playing. So I was like, man, maybe I could do this.
You're like, I got good taste in music.
Yeah.
I have the opposite of this story. I was at a house party and I was the DD for all of my friends. So I was just chilling on the couch, like watching the music videos that were going through, and I was like, you know what? I'll throw one of my songs on because someone handed me the remote.
Yeah.
And I put on. It's a great song. I still stand by that it's a good song. It's "Y'all Trippin'" by Michael Christmas.
Y'all trippin'. Y'all trippin'. Why y'all trippin'?
He's a Chicago rapper. He's very like. My problem was I didn't fit the vibe. I immediately killed the vibe because it was too. In my head, I was like, "Oh, this will be an upbeat song," but it's a slow upbeat song. You know what I mean? Some guy came in. This is true. A man walked in, heard what was on, and goes as loud as possible. Was like, "This is trash," and then walked out. Right after that, a drunk woman came up to me. She was also white, and so I kind of was already in a headspace about it. And she tried to take the remote from me, which was valid. But it was just the aggressiveness of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And then she was like, this is my house. Because it was a house party. By the way, this is a house party.
Yeah.
We showed up. It's 3 a.m.
She still didn't have to snatch it from you. You know what I mean?
After that, I was like, oh, only place I DJ is in my car.
Yeah. I've had those moments too at shows where like I play a song and just everybody stops dancing and see people kind of looking up at the DJ booth like, bro, what? So it's all about reading the room. You know, that's a big skill of DJing. You can't just have your head down the whole time. You gotta see if people are vibing with it or not.
What do you think of the Tulsa DJs right now? Anybody stand out or not stand out? You want to throw some shade right now?
There are really a lot of great DJs on the scene. There are some people that shouldn't call themselves a DJ. If you're just playing music, you're not a DJ.
What would you call that? Because I feel like that's what it's been around for like the longer amount of time.
I feel like DJing is more of an art. I like to mix and match songs together. So I won't just play one song. Like I'll start one song and then like halfway through I'll like cut in another song and like mix it together or like do different transitions from one song to the next just to add a little bit of flair, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, you give it a little personal spin. But if you're not adding anything to the song, you're not really doing anything. I get that. See, I like to come up with terms for things when like new situations present themselves. Like, so we have to describe a DJ who only plays music, and I think it's very simple and it's in our face. I think we just call them disc jockeys. Instead of, because that's what DJ stands for. But it's like, oh, you're not a DJ. You're a disc jockey.
You're just a disc jockey.
Yeah. Which somehow sounds like an insult, but that is just what a DJ is. So.
Yeah, no shade to anybody who just plays music. Like,
it's cloudy today.
As long as you have good song selection, like, that's still good. You can still get the party rocking. Learn a little bit of the craft to be, like, considered a DJ. And just in my opinion.
It might be every DJ in Tulsa. They are very good, but I think some of them prioritize technicality over vibe.
Facts.
I've heard songs that are technically very complex and very good, but in the club you have nowhere to move in the song. You know what I mean? Where you're like, I'm not a professional break dancer. I'm not gonna be like popping and locking. I need something that's gonna have like just a simple beat in there. Just hide it in there, and then do your technicality around it.
Yeah, facts.
But
yeah, don't overcomplicate it, and read the room. Like we said,
Some people are like, I'm going to create the vibe. And I'm like, that's not the vibe of this place.
Yeah, DJing should be like a conversation,
Ooh, that's really good.
I play something, you let me know how you feeling, just off your body language, and we feed off each other.
All right, do you want to jump into the meat of the podcast?
Let's do it.
Before I shivered to death. We're outside, and it is actually cold, so I look like a chihuahua this whole episode. We're just going to run with it.
To record the video.
Okay. So we're back. A little technical difficulty, so we had to watch it a little off cam. But Land of 7 Billion Dances by The Coup.
Drop the hips, apocalypse. We hoeing out here because they got the chips. Like, put it anywhere but not the lips.
I think it's a great song. I think it's a good upbeat song to start the playlist with because it really it gets you moving, it gets you grooving, it gets you thinking about the people. The Coup are really good at doing very political songs that are very catchy. They have The Guillotine, that's also a very good one that I like, but it doesn't really scream being a human. But I think Land of 7 Billion Dances is very much what I think it is to be human, like to keep going, keep dancing, keep...
yeah, I love it. It's got a really cool video too. It gives a very vintage, Spike Lee type of feel. That's dope. And I never heard of them before, but that's a vibe. That's something I would listen to in my car, just, vibing around.
You think you can mess with it as a DJ? Just throw it up on the thing?
It just, like I said, it just depends on the crowd.
Do you think if I would have played that at a house party instead of a slower song, that would have been, would you think someone would have shouted this is shit?
Nah, I think you would have got some people moving.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, definitely.
Next time.
Not a bad selection for the house party. I love it. I love hearing different people's music taste. I feel like we all grow up. I have so many songs that I listen to that you've never heard of, and you have so many that I've never heard of.
Whenever someone posts on Instagram on their story or puts any song and their post that I don't already know, I throw it into a playlist called Riding in My Friend's Car. And I'll play that sometimes if I'm on a long road trip just to discover new music. Do you have any songs that come to mind at the moment for being human?
The first song that comes to mind is Tame Impala, New Person, Same Old Mistakes.
Feel like a brand new person.
Feel like a brand new person.
Very nice.
Make the same old mistakes. Yeah, maybe throw a little auto-tune on that for me or something.
Okay, I got you. But that was really good. I liked that it was it starts very simple for a very long time when it has complex lyrics. And then right when it moves into the chorus, immediately you're hearing so many noises sounds coming out of it.
Yeah, good trippy song to listen to, whenever you're lit.
That definitely has a you're cruising, your friends are coming home after a party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just about to go home and crash.
I resonate with the New Person, Same Old Mistakes. I find myself still making a lot of the same mistakes. It's part of the human journey, I guess.
It really is. my least favorite thing is that we have to fail to learn. We have to you have to try something and fail, and that's how you learn something.
Yeah.
If you do something right the first time, there's nothing, you didn't gain anything from that
Yeah.
experience I've learned.
I'm growing and evolving. So, whenever you talk about being a human, that's the first song that just came to mind for me.
I actually do have a great follow-up for you for that one. And this is Jeffrey Lewis's Exactly What Nobody Wanted.
You were conscious and responsive and present. You weren't trying to make something.
Hell yeah, that's a bop. That's a bop.
Yeah. It's very much a optimistic, defeatist way of looking at, I think, the human experience of nobody asked for this, but we're all doing the best we can. And about him being just in love with the human experience almost. It's and it's a little personal because you could make it about somebody and about an artist who is making things that you just love and that nobody else is listening to. And you're like, why does nobody else see that this person is so good? But then it's also how can you not see that the human race and the human experience is also not just so good, even though that nobody kind of wanted it, kind of thing. It gives it in a very folky kind of way.
No, nobody asked to be here, right?
Nobody asked to be here, but I like to think that sometimes I'm like, did we ask to be here? And then that kind of makes it a little bit more fun.
True.
Doesn't explain anything going on, but makes me feel better when I'm really high.
I love that. Had to get me a little hot beverage real quick.
What is your final song about being human?
Another song that comes to mind is by Triplin. He's like an up-and-coming hip-hop artist. He's got a song, it's just called Awkward Freestyle.
If you try me, I might down it. I put that on my kids. I pulled up in a drop top.
It's just about falling in love and didn't turn out to be what they said it would be. But fuck it, I'm gonna just get some money,
That's really good. I think a really good way to magnify the feeling of being human is taking a magnifying glass to very specific human experiences and uniqueness that we all do. But that was really good. I really was like, this is me. I'm like, oh, this is a shared experience that I feel like a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel connected.
One line that stands out, he said, it's like we made some plays and I showed up, but you ain't come. But fuck it, I'm gonna count these funds again. Money my only fun. So we made all these plans and I showed up. But
I would show this to an alien and I think they would get it. You know what I mean? They'd be like, oh shit, humans are pretty cool. I get it now. Well, do you have any plugs for coming up in 2025?
Coming up in 2025, I have the Stoner Olympics coming up on 420.
Okay.
That's
how many years is that going now?
This will be the third year. We've been doing it twice a year since 2022, and it's just been growing every year.
You do it twice a year. Do you do it? So you do it 420 and
420, and then again in October, which is halfway from 420.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the spring and the fall Olympic Games, where
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The rest of the world has the winter and summer Olympic Games.
That's smart. I like that.
So yeah, it's essentially just weed competitions. Who can roll the fastest? Who can smoke a whole joint the fastest? Stuff like that. And it's been growing. It's one of our biggest events that we do every year. This past year, we brought out Juicy J and Rick Ross and collaborated with a lot of different cannabis brands. Shout out to Thunder Walker for helping to put it all together. So it's just been getting really huge. This year, we're planning on blocking off a section on 11th and Pittsburgh, which is near 11th and Utica. So we'll have the street blocked off and gonna make it into a whole block party.
Oh, okay, that would be sick. That would be sick.
Over by Core Skate Shop and Sharpside Barbershop. Shout out to Core Skate Shop. Shout out to Sharpside.
Do all your shout outs.
Yeah.
Also, that's 420. Don't forget. Obviously, how would you forget? When else would the Stoner Olympics be? 420, obviously.
Also, like I said, we just did Rose's fashion show in LA. We're planning on taking it to Houston, New York, and then LA again, as well as doing one here in Tulsa in 2025. So stay tuned for those dates.
And then this podcast will happen once a month next year with different artists. Nicolo Burkett may have been on it earlier or will be on it on the next episode or not. I don't know. But that's kind of like the thought process. So, yeah. I've been Natasha Ferdinand. This is Savvy Cray.
Yes, thank you for having me. I
Yeah.
appreciate you
Hey,
for...
we made a genius blend.
Yeah.